Hi Sam. I'm glad you're here today. We have an interesting word to learn.
Statt.
Hi Alex. What does
statt,
mean?
Great question.
Statt.
Means instead of. It's commonly used to express alternatives. Just be careful, as it can be confused with the English word statt, which has a different meaning.
So, it's like saying something different than what you expected.
Exactly. For example, instead of saying,
Ich gehe ins Kino.
you could say,
Ich gehe statt ins Kino ins Theater.
meaning I'm going to the theater instead of the cinema.
Got it. What about the grammar?
Well,
Statt.
is a preposition, and it's usually followed by a genitive case. For example,
Statt des Regens.
means instead of the rain. But in everyday language, many people use it with the dative case, saying,
Statt dem Regen.
which is also acceptable.
Interesting. Does it have any other forms?
Not really, since
Statt.
is a preposition, it doesn't change like verbs or nouns do. But it's important to know how to use it correctly.
Where does the word
statt,
come from?
Statt.
Has its roots in Old High German, where it was used similarly to express alternatives. Over time, it maintained its meaning, which is quite fascinating.
That's cool. I didn't know words could stay the same for so long.
Yes, language evolves, but some words remain quite stable. Now, let's break down.
Statt.
Sure. How do you do that?
Statt.
Is a standalone word, so we can't break it into smaller parts like prefixes or suffixes. However, think of it as the Lego block that helps you build sentences about alternatives.
I see. What are some similar words or phrases?
Well, we can look at some alternatives. For example,
Anstatt.
means instead of but is a bit more formal. Another example is,
Anstelle.
which means in place of.
Do you have more examples?
Of course. There's,
Stattdessen.
which means instead. Then there are words like,
Wechseln.
meaning to change, and
Ersetzten.
meaning to replace.
That's a lot of words with similar meanings.
Yes, and they can help you express alternatives in different contexts. Now let's practice using
Statt.
in real-life situations.
Sounds good. What situations do you have in mind?
Imagine you're at a restaurant. You could say,
Ich nehme statt Steak einen Salat.
which means I'll have a salad instead of steak.
Let me try.
Ich nehme statt Pizza einen Burger.
Perfect. That's a great sentence.
What's the next situation?
How about at work? You might say,
Statt zu arbeiten, gehe ich nach Hause.
meaning instead of working, I'm going home.
Okay, I'll try.
Statt zu arbeiten, mache ich eine Pause.
Very good. That works well.
What's the last situation?
Let's say you're planning a trip. You could say,
Statt nach Paris, fliegen wir nach Berlin.
which means instead of going to Paris, we're flying to Berlin.
All right.
Statt nach Rom, fahren wir nach Madrid.
Excellent. You're getting the hang of it.
What about the gender of?
Statt.
Since
Statt.
is a preposition, it doesn't have gender. But if we were to talk about a noun like,
Stadt.
which means place, it's feminine, so you would use
Die Stadt.
That's helpful to remember.
yes. The ending often indicates feminine nouns in German. Now, let's talk about some common phrases with
Stadt.
Like what?
you might say,
Stattdessen lieber.
meaning preferably instead. Another one is,
Statt nur.
which means instead of just.
Are there any similar words that people confuse with?
Statt.
Yes, many people confuse it with,
Stattdessen.
which means instead. They are related but used in different contexts.
Got it. Can you give me a few example sentences using?
Statt.
Sure. Here are some.
Ich gehe statt ins Büro nach Hause.
Meaning I'm going home instead of the office. Another example is,
Statt des Regens hatten wir Sonne.
which means instead of rain, we had sunshine.
That's really useful.
And here's another.
Hat statt dem Bus das Fahrrad genommen.
Which means he took the bike instead of the bus.
Great. I like these examples.
Let's do a quick recall check. What does
Statt.
mean?
It means instead of.
Exactly. Can you give me a sentence using
Statt.
Sure.
Ich gehe statt nach Hause zu Freunden.
almost perfect, but remember to say
Statt zu Freunden nach Hause.
Ah, got it. What about the case after?
Statt.
it's usually genitive, but many people use dative too. So, can you tell me a similar word to?
Statt.
Anstatt.
Correct. What's the gender of?
Statt.
It's feminine, so it's.
Die Stadt.
Great job. One last question. Where does
Stadt.
Come from.
It comes from Old High German.
You nailed it, Sam. To summarize, today we learned about
Statt.
its meaning, usage, and some interesting examples.
Thanks, Alex. I really enjoyed this.
I'm glad. Keep practicing, and see you next time for more vocabulary.